Roger, congratulations on another great season. You've obviously won this title a few times before. How special is it for you to play in the Barclays ATP World Tour Finals?
Every year it's been one of my big goals at the beginning of the season, trying to qualify for the World Tour Finals. This is my 9th time in a row I've been able to achieve it, which is quite incredible for myself to think about that I was able to do it, because I remember back in 2000, 2001 I was battling, trying to make it, and both times I just missed out and I was very disappointed. And then when I qualified the first time in 2002, I had the best time over there. I finished 6th in the world, lost in the semis to Hewitt in a great match, and just felt like this is what tennis is all about, being part of the big boys, playing against the best in an incredible atmosphere, and this is what London is as well. So I'm happy to be still playing so well and having a chance to win again.
Obviously we're in London now for the second year in a row. You've got some great memories from being in London, and yesterday you got a chance to meet the Prime Minister. How was that, and did he give you some advice, or did you have some for him?
No, look, it's very exciting being in London. Always tennis fans love when the players come here. I think the invitation from the Prime Minister also shows how big this event is for the country and for the city. I don't think the Prime Minister himself, he can come and see it, but look, the tennis tour ourselves is very excited to be here. Last year I think we had sold out sessions, almost every single match there was. We had great matches and a great finale here at the World Tour Finals at the O2, where the atmosphere was fantastic. So and it's going to stay here. It's not going anywhere soon. It's going to stay here for another 3 years, and I hope I can qualify many more times.
The format of this tournament's often been likened to sort of coming straight into the quarter-final of a Grand Slam. Do you feel that with your recent run of results and the way you're playing at the moment, that you're ready to hit the ground running in your opening match?
I mean, I hope so. There's never a guarantee. I mean, at the moment I feel great. I've played a ton of matches, so the last thing I'm missing here is a lack of matches, which sometimes can be the case during the season. I've played 4 out of the last 5 weeks, so obviously it's more about resting, getting ready, not getting injured, getting used to the conditions, and gearing up to play David Ferrer, who's my first round opponent.
You probably know better than anyone else. I mean, it's a very tough tournament. You've got the top 8 players in the world here. Pretty much anyone's got a chance to win the title. What's it actually going to take to win that title a week on Sunday?
Well, I think at the year end here, when the top 8 qualify, and usually 6 out of the 8 are definitely in great shape. Some are maybe lacking a bit of confidence. Some are maybe just really tired. But 6 out of the 8 are always playing great. So you're not going to win this tournament just by showing up and sneaking your way into a finals and then all of a sudden you're going to win it. This is not the kind of tournament this is. You have to really play excellent and then play your best at the very later stages of the tournament. Thank God I've got good experience how to approach a tournament like this, because it is very difficult mentally, getting used to a round-robin format and playing a top 10 player in the first round, which I'm used to, but I'm also excited to see how I'm going to do this year, because every year is different, as we say.
And you mentioned there, obviously, your first opponent is David Ferrer. You've got a very good record against him, but he's pushed you pretty hard in some of your recent matches, and he's coming in off, a good title in Valencia. I mean, how tough's that going to be? What's the key for you?
Well, key is going to be to play aggressive myself. At the end of the day, we are playing indoors, even though conditions are maybe not as fast as in Paris. I got to take it to David. He's very solid off the ground. It's important for me to mix it up, I guess, and see where it takes me. I hope I can play well, because our group, they're all playing well. Murray's just won Shanghai, Sodling just won Paris, I won a bunch of tournaments, and then Ferrer won Valencia indoors as well. So we all know where our game's at, and that's why I think our group is really tricky.
And finally, you touched on it briefly there, but the O2, obviously, it's a 17,500 seat stadium, sellout crowd pretty much all the time, a great atmosphere. How special a stage is that for you to play on?
I think it's one of the best arenas around right now. Obviously, it's not an arena that's here all year long, but they make it feel like it is. And I think the crowds loved it last year. They blackened out the crowd almost a little bit to have the whole focus just on center court. It feels like a bit of a boxing match feeling, which I think is different, and I think everything that's different is nice for a change. It's quite dramatic entrance as well, with smoke and curtain and the whole thing. So I think it's really well done, and I'm super excited to experience it again.
Well, best of luck this week.
Well, I spoke to Roger Federer a couple of days ago, and I asked what it would mean to him to win a 5th World Tour Finals title here in London.
Well, I guess it would just be great finishing a already good season off in perfect style against fellow top 10 players. It's always a great feeling going on vacation with having lifted the trophy at the last tournament of the season. I was able to do it 4 times, and it just feels great. And then you come back to practice and you're so motivated for next year. Everything seems really easy, and you're excited about Australia coming up. So, I mean, I'll try my very best, and I'll see what happens.
Does the round-robin format require a different mental approach?
Maybe somewhat different, you know, just because it's unusual that you can possibly lose maybe a match and still go through and end up winning the tournament. So, but I think at the top you try hard regardless. Any match you can and have to anyway. So at the end it doesn't really matter too much. But it's just slightly different feeling because you hear a lot of calculation going on, especially with last year's match. I mean, it was me and Del Potro, and the Murray situation was quite crazy, and you're obviously aware of it, and it can play some tricks all of a sudden on your mind, which thank God it didn't really. I was able to come through, but who knows, maybe I was roasted because of that in the semis and wasn't able to win that one. But look, it's a different type of a scenario, but nevertheless it still was a successful hunting ground for me.
David Ferrer first up. In draw terms, is that the best possible start for you?
Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, I obviously have a great record against him. I think I've never lost against him. But I have huge respect for him, the way he grinds out every single match. His approach to the tournament and the matches are fantastic. He always puts in a great effort. So you know what you're going to get with David. The question is, like, if I can play my game and mix it up and play aggressive and well, things obviously should look good. But then again, if I don't find my way into the match and he just grinds away, and maybe I won't be able to find back into the match. That's the difficulty here. He's probably one of the best return players in the draw right now, and that's why it's in a way a tricky start, like every other draw would have been as well, just because top 10 players are not easy to start off a tournament with.
You've been around for such a long time, you've been successful for such a long time. Do you still find that you're learning new things tennis-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, and I'm looking at ways how I can improve my game or my approach to events or a year. I think you always got to keep it interesting and entertaining. Obviously, having kids has changed things around drastically for me, the way I look at things or the way I have to organize things. And just that alone makes it really fun and motivating to travel the world that way, because it's just quite different than how it was 5 years ago.
You're having to find out where all the toy shops in London are now, are you?
Those kind of things, where the parks, where the zoo, and all those kind of things. It's a different approach, yes. I'm Roger Federer. I'm from Switzerland, and my favorite shot is my forehand. My first tennis memories must be when I picked up a wooden racket first up, and then watching Becker and Edberg play at Wimbledon in the finals. My motivation has come from my idols, my heroes, myself living a dream as a kid, wanting to become a great player, living that experience of winning on center court at Wimbledon maybe, and then now it's, I think, the fans. I have many people, you know, holding up signs. That's something that really motivates me in a big way. Well, I think it's been a good season overall. You know, I had some tough losses through the season with French Open and Wimbledon. I've been somewhat of a disappointment that I couldn't go further there after having won the year before. For me, world number one is obviously a huge thing. This year I won't be able to do it, but still had a good season, and I always plan my schedule around that I can be world number one again. When the pressure's on, you try to be solid but aggressive, so you don't give the control to your opponent. So you try to actually break it down and make it actually rather simple. It's always one of the goals you set yourself at the beginning of the season, that you're part of the top 8 at the end of the year. London last year was a success, even though I wasn't able to win it. I think from a tennis standpoint, the people loved it. I'm really excited to come back myself. It's going to be really difficult to win, but I'm here with a chance as well, so I'll try my best.